Welcome back to Wham Bam Dashcam episode 150. Buckle up for 20 awesome dashcam videos you won't see anywhere else. Tux's grandparents were on their way to pick up a pizza when an oncoming pickup driver turned across their lane without realizing how fast the Kia Optima next to them was approaching the intersection. Evidently, the driver of the Kia didn't notice what was happening until just before the impact, as they didn't hit the brakes until the last moment. The collision sent the pickup spinning and put the car onto the sidewalk. Thankfully, Tux's grandparents were able to use the empty oncoming lanes to avoid the wreck. They continued while calling 911, then returned to the scene after picking up the pizza. They gave a statement to the police before going home, and Tux told us he immediately sent the cops a copy of this footage after they got home. He suspects both vehicles involved were totaled. This submitter got tired of waiting in traffic and decided to make a U-turn, but what he didn't know was that the driver of a minivan was using the center turn lane as their own private expressway. The collision sent the Dodge minivan spinning while our submitter pulled his Ford F-150 to the side of the road. When police responded, there was evidently some confusion about who had caused the wreck. Once our submitter showed officers his dashcam footage, they found the minivan driver responsible. You know what they say, the dashcam never lies. John witnessed another impatient driver make an illegal maneuver. Watch as an SUV driver makes a right on red before making an immediate and illegal U-turn. Yeah, that was more like a left on red, and this is not legal at all. Sadly for everyone, there weren't any cops nearby, but stick around, we've got your fix of instant justice coming up. First, watch this crazy wreck that a submitter witnessed while driving in Australia. Here, let me fix the video for the rest of us. Much better. Two vehicles that had already been involved in a minor fender bender had stopped, one safely off the road and the other right in the middle of a lane. How could this possibly go wrong? The driver of a black MG hadn't noticed the SUV wasn't moving, in spite of its hazard lights being activated, and slammed on the brakes only 2 seconds before rear-ending it. Our submitter told us the entire scene was cleaned up in less than an hour. He thinks both vehicles were probably totaled by the high-speed impact. Speaking of high speed, Lance and Megan watched a speeder go flying past them right in front of a notorious speed trap location. Needless to say, the cop lit up the party lights in short order. Thankfully, the guy knew right away he was cooked and immediately pulled over to collect his winnings. Lance and Megan told us they wish they had a rear-facing dashcam too so they could show us the driver weaving around. If you need a dashcam, check out our recommendations in the video description. They're the dashcams our team uses in our own vehicles, and you'll find single and dual camera options, as well as exclusive discounts just for our fans. Kyle was driving in upstate New York on a cold, wet evening. He told us the highway had just started to ice over when a driver with a bad tire lost control and slid into traffic. Amazingly, Kyle was able to maintain control while swerving around the spinning car, and he kept going after seeing that nobody else had hit it either. Vincent watched a pickup driver wipe out, but this incident seemed intentional. Ironically, the sign the pickup driver flattened while making an illegal left turn over an island was one that said, "No left turns." He literally could not have missed it. Vincent told us he flagged down a sheriff's deputy and told him what happened, and he forwarded the info to the local police department. They used Vincent's dashcam footage to track down the driver and hold him responsible. According to Vincent, he received a citation for his traffic infraction, and he also had to pay to replace the sign. Maybe next time he'll just turn right out of that parking lot and find another way to reach his destination. Jasmine encountered another driver in a hurry to reach his destination, but this one was a truck driver who decided to race a train.
No!
When the crossing arms began coming down, the trucker, who'd been waiting patiently until that point, put the hammer down and floored it across the tracks, but not without his trailer being struck by one of the arms. Thankfully, this stupid maneuver didn't result in any tragedy when the semi made it across mere seconds before the train arrived. Jasmine told us Wham Bam videos inspired her to get a dash cam for her Honda Accord. Awesome! Sherry was on her way to get some lunch when she watched an oncoming Dodge Challenger rear-end a pickup truck as it came to a stop for traffic. Sherry estimates the Challenger rear-ended the pickup at around 40 miles per hour, and she believes it was totaled by the impact. Thankfully, it's unlikely that anyone was seriously hurt in this collision. JC nearly T-boned a clueless Subaru driver who ran a red light right in front of her Toyota RAV4. JC told us she was shocked as she continued on her way to work. If we freeze the video so we can see the other driver, he looks very unconcerned as he endangers himself and everyone around him. Audrey was stopped behind an SUV waiting to turn when Yep, she was rear-ended by a Ram pickup. Go ahead, make your jokes. Audrey's phone called 911 automatically, and police and paramedics arrived quickly at the scene. Sadly, her Chrysler Sebring had to be towed away. After the repair quote climbed to $11,000, Audrey's car was totaled. Thankfully, she wasn't seriously injured by the collision. Deli spotted a Tesla behaving badly, but we had to blur out what really made this video noteworthy. Let's just say there was definitely a full moon out that night.
That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla man can't drive.
Well, I guess that Tesla isn't emissions-free after all. Maybe the passenger was just trying to help the driver experience the sounds and smell of a combustion engine. Of course, Deli would have to catch up to them to find out, but he decided not to chase it in his Mini Cooper, so I guess we'll never know. Khan was on his way home after a midterm exam when his BMW 328i was suddenly sideswiped by a Toyota. Both drivers pulled over, and the Toyota driver immediately asked Khan if he'd been on his phone, which he denied. Khan was shocked by what had happened and had to review his own dashcam footage to see who was at fault. A combination of poor cell service and an honest mistake caused him to watch the wrong portion of the footage, and he ended up accepting fault for the collision, prompting a police officer to cite him for failing to maintain his lane. After getting home, he took another look at his dashcam and realized he wasn't responsible for the collision at all. After showing his footage in court, his citation was dropped and the other driver's insurance paid to fix his BMW. Repairs cost $3,000, and you can see how easy it is to be incorrectly assigned blame after a collision. Thanks to Khan's dashcam, everything eventually got worked out, and most importantly, he got a 96 on his midterm. The driver Aaron encountered while driving down a one-way road wasn't nearly as intelligent. Aaron laid on the horn and swerved around the car that was about to turn head-on into his lane. Aaron told us he saw the other driver correct his mistake in his rearview mirror, and he probably had to check his pants too. This is actually Aaron's second time being featured on Wham Bam Dashcam, and his first submission was captured just down the road from this one. We'll put a link to that episode at the end of this one, just in case you missed it. Omar was obeying the speed limit on a road in Kuwait when he was suddenly cut off and sideswiped by an impatient SUV driver. After the collision, both drivers pulled over and examined the damage to their vehicles. When police arrived, they blamed Omar for the wreck. He said their logic was that the SUV was ahead of him, so he should have slowed down. Where I live, the vehicle already in the lane always has the right-of-way over another vehicle merging into the lane, but I guess Kuwait is a little different. What do you think? Did the cops get this one wrong? Sound off in the comments. Gio was driving his Ford F-150 Lightning when the driver of a lifted pickup rolled coal on him. Gio's pickup may be electric, but Teslas are the only EVs that can fart back. Gio told us he laughed when he pulled up behind the pickup and saw the license plate. Evidently, he loves coal so much, he blesses the rest of us with it. Hooray! Speaking of Teslas, Mark watched a Model Y get T-boned as it drove slowly through a parking lot. Mark told us he didn't offer his dashcam footage to the Tesla driver, possibly because he figured they already had Tesla cam footage of their own. I guess we need to make a public service announcement before we continue. While most Tesla owners do have their Tesla cams configured, many don't have a properly formatted flash drive to store footage. In other words, the camera is rolling, but they forgot to put a tape in. Maybe they don't realize it isn't set up, or maybe they don't even know about the Tesla cam feature. It might even be set up and working, but they have no idea how to access the footage. If you witness a collision, even one that involves a Tesla, you should always stop and offer a copy of your footage to the involved parties. Kale was driving down a Belgian highway when he watched a driver in a right turn lane suddenly turn left, cutting off both him and another driver up ahead. Thankfully, both drivers were able to swerve around the car, and Kale honked as he drove around it. He told us he was a bit shaken as he continued on his trip. Gabs was on his way to work when he watched the Hyundai behind him get rear-ended by a pickup truck as they were slowing down for a red light. Gabs told us the driver of the F-150 claimed his brakes had failed, which he doesn't believe because they seemed to be working just fine after the collision. Gabs suspects he'd actually been distracted at the time. Thankfully, Gabs did provide a copy of his dashcam footage to the driver of the Hyundai before continuing to work. He also said the pickup driver was grinning when he first got out of his vehicle, making this a bizarre incident. Jack spotted something bizarre while he was on his way to a grocery store: the illuminated legend of Aberdeen. Yeah, we have no idea what that is either. Jack told us he moved to Aberdeen 7 years ago and had seen the legend before, but this was the first time he was able to capture it on camera. Jack asked us to shout out his future fiancée Emily, surprise by the way, and good luck, Jack. Let us know what she says. Check out the episode featuring Aaron's previous submission, A Wrong-Way Driver That Got Instant Justice. Or if you already saw that one, check out this episode YouTube thinks you haven't seen yet. Make sure YouTube didn't helpfully unsubscribe you, and we'll see you next week with more.
Wham, bam, we got a Patreon, man. Please support the show.